Good morning. Welcome to the Keto Mom page. We are diving into Dream It, Pin It, Live It. If you're just tuning in, I would love to know if you are brand new, post new below. Also, if you're reading the book or following along. So, as you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? Good morning. I hope you had an incredible weekend. I did not go through the book this weekend, but I just encouraged you to be writing down the things that you are dreaming about, goals, all of those things. So I would love to know, if you've been doing the activities, have you been writing down your goals? Do you have a list of things that you are saying and writing and believing for? And on this list, one of the challenges that the book gave you was to write them down every single day for 30 days. Have you been doing it? Good morning. Good morning. I should tell you a joke. I've been wanting to start this with a joke and I don't have one. I'll do it tomorrow. So I would love to know, are you writing your things, your dreams, your desires, your goals down? Yes or no? Secondly, if you're just tuning in and you're brand new, we do a book, I guess you could say a book club every day. So where you can hop on and listen. This is the book that we're going through, and we're going to create vision boards. We're going to help you accomplish goals and really help you understand why mindset is so important. So we've been doing a different book since May, every single month, a couple books in June, just helping you understand a lot of you want to lose some fat. A lot of you are here for fat loss, right? That's awesome. And how do we get to where you want to be? How do we achieve those goals? And we've talked about creating habits, and we've talked about owning your morning, and we've talked about your mindset and visualization. And some of you might be going, I just need you to tell me what to eat. And I would say, no, it's not true. Because if you get up, and just think about it like this, if you get up in the morning and you're crabby and you hit your alarm clock or your snooze button, and then you don't have time to make breakfast, or you're crabby, so you go through the drive-thru and you grab the donut because you've already wrecked your day, and then you go out of your way and you just throw your hands up in the air and you let your day control you, right? That's what we've been talking about over the last 4 or 5 months, is the power of here will control how you feel. It will control the actions that you take, and it's going to control your outcome, your goals, whether you like it or not. You could sit here and go, oh, that mindset stuff, oh, that inspiration stuff, that's so dumb. Let's see who's further on here. It would be interesting to know who actually does the action steps and where they're at next year. And if you don't think that mindset is important, we'll see where you are next year. And it's not to be rude or disrespectful, but it is a discipline, and it is taking your goals and your dreams seriously, getting focused, and taking action. So, with all of that said, some of you are following along. You don't have the book, and that's completely fine. And this is a little bit shorter of a Monday. So, I'll tell you this. We did this book, and for whatever reason, I forgot that we created the vision boards before the end of the book. Well, we didn't do it that way, but that's how it has you do it. So some of you might be going, I thought we were going to create the vision boards at the end of the month. Yes, and it says in this next chapter, chapter 6, well, actually, we're ending chapter 5. So if you want to know, some of you have been saying, please put the pages on. We're on page 60, and we're just going for the next 2 pages to get to chapter 6. But, excuse me, just so you know, in the next chapter, it says it's time to create, or once you've created your board. So here's what I want you to know and do. And you can do this however it works for you. If you have your list of things, these are some of the things that are going to go on your board. We talked about taking 5 or 10 things and put them on your board that you can accomplish SMART goals within the next 12 to 18 months. My encouragement was, what can you accomplish by the end of this year? 3 to 5 things. And then put a couple things on your board that might take years. It could be 5 years, 10 years. and let's start creating. So she encouraged you to find pictures, print the pictures off. You could go through magazines, whatever. You could even, I don't know, whatever you want. It's a visualization of what we're going to put on your board. And then we're going to keep going. So whether you do that at the end of the entire book or you do it right now, you can just start your board. So I have my board started. I'm going to show you it tomorrow because it's in the other room. So I'll show you mine, but I do have to add on to it. So wherever you want to start, this isn't like I have to follow it a specific way. This is an incredible book to help you start dreaming, writing things down, and then start saying it, writing it, and putting the pictures on the board. All right? So with all that said, we're on page 60, 61. She really dives into the importance of visualization, and this is what she says. Well, she says, what is visualization? It is simply the use of imagination through pictures to create a vision of what you want in your life, right? So we've got the pictures, we've got them on a board. Your mind is activated by pictures. And so she actually gives a whole bunch of science in these last few chapters. She says, when you are hungry, you visualize what you want to eat. When you plan a vacation, you visualize where you want to go, right? When you plan your outfit, you visualize what you want to wear, and so on and so forth. Lots of things that you do. She talks about in sports, lots of coaches say, I want you to see you hitting the basket before you hit the basket, right? I actually have heard this a lot in basketball. My husband used to play basketball growing up, and they would visualize themselves hitting free throws, right? Visualize it. You sit, you guys, I'm not a basketball player, but even I remember being coached that way, listening to other people say, visualize it. So if I'm standing at a basket and we're just playing for fun, the first thing I will do, if I'm playing with my kids, is I legitimately will stand there for a second. I'll shut my eyes. I will see myself shooting the basket, hitting the hoop and going in. Like I'll see it and then I will shoot. It doesn't mean that I hit it. But we teach our kids this. I'll say, our daughter hurt her ankle, so she had a bad sprain. And I said, listen, even though you can't go to practice or even though you physically can't practice, I want you to sit every night and visualize yourself as setting the ball. She's a setter. Set to all of your girls. Set to your team. So think of yourself setting forward, short sets, back sets. I don't know if she's been doing it. I need to ask her. Or like our daughter that rides horses. She really had a goal to do this lope thing, like running the horse a certain way. She was frustrated that her horse wasn't doing it. She got it on Saturday, but I said, you need to visualize it. So she's like, what am I supposed to do for practice if I can't, we've got a whole week. I said, why don't you see yourself riding your horse? Shut your eyes and see yourself riding your horse. Feel yourself riding the horse. See yourself doing the type of run you want your horse to do, right? Or we've got a daughter in ballet. All of these things, if you can sit here and go, I can see it. This is how I want it to look. You're going to eventually feel it. That's what she's talking about. The importance of having these visions, these dreams, these goals on a board so that when you walk by, you're seeing it, right? So if you're seeing yourself at 40 pounds less, then hopefully it's going to create a feeling inside of you. Hopefully you sit there and you go, how am I going to get there? I'm going to get up early. I'm going to lift the weights. I see myself 40 pounds lighter. I see myself playing with the grandkids or going for that run. It is super, super important. She says, here's a common saying. I don't know who said it. What happens out there is a result of what happens in here. What happens out there is a result of what happens in here. In simple terms, that means that your reality is a result of what happens in your mind. Your reality is a result of what happens right here, good or bad. Good or bad. She says it's even scientific. She says if you rehearse an event in your mind, it creates what scientists call a neural pattern. You guys, we talked about this if you've been following along for the last few months. Neuro Pathways. So we've talked about that in Atomic Habits. We talked about that in the Miracle Morning. When you think about things and you think about them often enough, it creates this neural pathway in your brain that helps you visualize it, and ultimately your body thinks that that's your accomplishment, good or bad, right? And so it teaches your muscles to do exactly what you want them to do because you're thinking about it, and then your mind is going to think about that. That's why sports coaches claim that sports are 90% mental and 10% physical. It's super important. If your mindset is negative, you're going to look for the negative, you're going to see it, you're going to feel it, you're going to ultimately, results are going to be negative, right? That's why it's so important to get up. If every person that messages me, they'll be like, oh, I want this fat loss, I want this. I keep falling into this bad pattern, I fall off the wagon. And one of the questions I ask is, what are you reading in the morning? Like, how do you start your morning? Not good. What are you reading? I haven't read a book in years. Okay, how do you start your morning off? Well, I roll out of bed, kids wake me up. It's the same predictable pattern. For most people that are not getting the results that they want, they're not owning their morning. They're not owning their mindset. They're not taking control and doing those things at all. They are letting the world own their day. They're letting their morning and their children and the lack of discipline and the lack of focus and the lack of time and preparation own their day, which will result in owning your outcomes, your goals, all of those things. So with that, she said, I've never hit, there was a coach or a ball player that says, I've never hit a shot, not even in practice, without having a very sharp, in-focus picture of it in my mind first. What you see is what you get, right? So here's your action step. In this action, she says, I want you to take some time, sometime this week, close your eyes. You should do it every morning while you're in the shower. Take 2 minutes, close your eyes, and ignore my dogs. See yourself attaining every dream that you have on that board, every dream that God has put in your heart. So that's what you're going to do. So the action steps that we have been doing are simply writing down your goals. So you're writing them down. You're writing them every day for 30 days. And you're going to start, like if you haven't, put pictures to your goals. So start printing out pictures. We're going to start putting them on a board because in chapter 6, it says once your board is up, you don't have to create your board right now. You can read the entire book and we can create it at the end of the month. But if you want to start, get a little bulletin board or get a white poster board. It can be whatever you want, right? Think of the pictures and the goals that you want to achieve, and we're going to start placing them on the board, or we can do it at the end of the month. But what you should be doing is writing your goals down. Because remember, as I think, so I feel, as I feel, so I do. Your actions are created out of your feelings, good or bad. Starts in your mindset. So as I think, so I feel, as I feel, so I have, as I do, so I have. As I think, so I feel, as I feel, so I do, as I do, so I have. What do you have? Look at what you're achieving right now, reverse engineer it and go, okay, if I have wherever I am right now, it's because of the actions, right? And that your actions are usually caused by how you're feeling. And I'm feeling a certain way because of how I'm thinking, right? So if you are not where you are today, you need to reverse engineer it and look at your morning. Look at the things that you're thinking about. Look at the actions that you're taking. How are you feeling? What's controlling? Does that make sense? I hope this is making sense. So I'm going to continue to write mine. I'm going to share my vision board with you of how I've started it tomorrow. And then we'll continue tomorrow on chapter 6. And we'll read the first 3 pages or so, 3 or 4 pages. Probably 3. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day. As always, continue to reach out, ask questions, continue to tune into the page for keto recipe tips and tricks. This is the book we're starting in October. So if you want to grab the next book, you can get it online. I'm sure you can go to any Barnes & Noble or any bookstore and grab Think and Grow Rich. There are a lot of different covers, so don't get messed up with that. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. It's not what you think. You might be shocked at this book. It's a really great book. It's actually really thick, so we might have to take this pretty slow. It might take us all the way until November. It could take us 2 months to read this book. It's really thick. So this is the book we're doing. I hope you have a great day. I look forward to answering any questions that you have. Reach out to me. Always here to help, and we'll talk to you soon.